Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at Filecoin. This is a request from one of our community members, so thank you so much for requesting that I do cover this. And of course, we're going to take a look at big picture and best practice, help you understand becoming a better trader. And in that regard, if you do want to become a better trader, I've been trading for over 16 years and I've got a trading community, academy, and signal group. Link in the description below, CryptoCache.tech if you want to just generally, again, become a better trader. I help you structure your trades effectively. The signals that I send, you can one-click follow those if you'd like. The Trading Academy gives you a fundamental understanding of how to be a better trader. It dives a lot deeper than all the stuff I cover here. And of course, the community goes without saying. Amazing group of folks. I cannot believe how awesome it is. So thanks again to my current community members for requesting I cover this and just being an awesome part of my life. Thank you. Taking a look here, of course, at Filecoin. Big picture really quick, touching back here in April of 2021, roughly 1 year ago, we can see it hit its all-time high at $238, and it's now at $25. Now, I get the question a lot, is it going to get back up to that point? Well, it's going to be a while. Just in general, the likelihood of it coming back there is fairly low, just in the grand scheme of the fact that you fly that high that quick, and you're going to have an experience. I mean, that's almost 1,000% in like a 2-month time frame, right? So generally speaking, most coins don't recover like that. If they do, it takes a while. So just be mindful of the fact that it's probably going to be a little bit before we get there. But $25 seems like a pretty big value, right? When this was upwards of 200 plus. So that being said, looking at the 50-day SMA, we're above that now. We're back above finally. It's taken some time. In fact, if we look at this, it's been very, very infrequent. Only time we had that is back in August when Bitcoin is pumping last year. And by the way, Bitcoin is back up over the 50-day SMA on the weekly. Extremely important. And we're looking very good shape here for Bitcoin. With the amount of consistent days that we've seen so far from Bitcoin, every time Bitcoin has had this many green days, it's increased by a significant margin. So again, Filecoin is no exception there in that sense, but also we got to acknowledge the fact that being up over 50 is extremely important. Right? We are also up over 70 on the RSI. This should effectively work as a support level, and that is synonymous with right around $25 on the price action. So if the price does pull back, I think 24.48, correction is 24.48, not 25, is essentially a nice strong support level because that worked as a previous resistance as well, if you can see here. And then we got this candle wick up to 26.60. So if we can break 26.60, we'll be in much better shape here to be able to see Filecoin excel. But I do think in the short, kind of just in a less broad perspective, you can tell that Filecoin is really close to breaking that area there. Not quite there, but very, very close, and I think we're in good shape. We can kind of celebrate that. It's more positive than negative, right? And again, I try to tell it, I try to mention this in every video. When you're doing TA, really you're just building a case for the probability of it going one direction or the other, right? So far, we can kind of summarize that the daily looks pretty decent. It looks much better. It's above average. And in turn, that's a very good sign. So how does the 4-hour look for us? Well, if we look at the TD sequential, we can see we're definitely on the overextended side here. We came from a 1 to a 7 to a sharp up to a 9. And now we're in overtime. So truth be told, it needs to pull back soon or we could experience a decrease in price, which is again kind of confirming the fact that 24.48 might be a next support level tested. But also keep in mind too, increased volume causes these kind of results to happen. So sometimes TD sequential will give you some false positives there in the sense that, hey, yeah, sure, we're 2 days into this bullish trend, but we got this tremendous amount of volume that we haven't seen in quite some time. In fact, if we zoom out, let's actually take a quick look at that. The amount of volume they're seeing right now is very good. I mean, that is an increased amount of volume for 2 days in a row. It's not just 1 day and tapering off. For the most part, Filecoin does very well for itself when we have significant increase in volume. Okay, so this could really be the starting point of something really cool. So I do think Filecoin has tremendous potential in that sense based on its volume. And then if we take a look at, once again, the 4-hour, we can see we're overextended on the RSI. So that is another reason why I feel like we could see a pullback, just based on the fact that the price action does need to correct itself. It's a bit on the overextended side. So TD sequential is telling us we've gone too long without a correction. And then we also see the RSI telling us that we're really, really considered to be overbought right now. Again, those two things in combination doesn't really, I wouldn't say it's adverse, but it just kind of tells us that on the 4-hour time frame, we might see a pullback. Okay. Same thing with the 1 hour as well. Let's go ahead and double check this because what I like to double check is, of course, TD sequential and C. We got a 9 here, came up to overtime, reset, and we're back up to a 4, down to a 1 potentially. So honestly, it's consolidating nicely. This is a decent amount of consolidation at this price point. And as you can see, the price came up, broke that resistance level, continued to trend here and support it. So when you look at this here and you see this, you can kind of expect the price to want to continue higher based on the fact that it's had enough consolidation time frame. It's consolidated a lot at the previous resistance level, now essentially a support. And I think we could anticipate the price to go probably higher from here. Let's take a look at Ichimoku Cloud. We still got all green lights here, conversion lines above the baseline. We are essentially free and clear of the cloud and free and clear of any price action too. So I can realistically say here that the 1 hour looks very good and a continuation of the upside is still very high. This does require Bitcoin to do some positive stuff here. What I mean by that is Bitcoin performed very well yesterday. And as we can see here, Filecoin broke out yesterday. So that being said, you'd want to pay attention to Bitcoin and what's going to happen with that. I personally feel we might see a slight correction from Bitcoin, maybe 46,000 at worst case. And if we do see that, we could see a price action like this continue to test this level. Heaven forbid we lose this level and we stay above 2281, we'll be in good shape still because we'll still be making higher highs and higher lows at that point. All right, so again, not dire straits by any means. There's more positive than negative here for Filecoin. The increased amount of volume we're seeing is extremely important, and we need to identify the fact that with increased volume, Filecoin's done very well in the past. I think it's going to help us, though, of course, that Bitcoin is doing well and continues to maintain its consistency. If Bitcoin does struggle over the next couple weeks, which wouldn't be terrible, I'll just say sideways action, for example, then Filecoin might slow down a little bit. But then again, what's interesting about this increased volume and market capitalization from Bitcoin coming away. A lot of altcoins like this are adopting more capitalization, and in turn, they're increasing significantly. So we could very well see, I'm not saying that we're in alt season by any means, but when Bitcoin continues higher and then the Bitcoin dominance is still receding, that means there's more money coming into the market and it's going into coins like these. So this kind of, in summary here, I would say that Filecoin is looking very, very beneficial. I do think we're going to see a continuation of the upside. It might kind of get stopped out here closer to 24.48 potentially. As a worst case, I think we're going to channel sideways for a little bit and then probably leg up again. But it does look like it's a very healthy continuation here on the 1 day time frame. And a pullback lower than 24.48 I think is very unlikely, pending Bitcoin doesn't drop sub 46,000. Okay, and I think we're going to be in pretty good shape there because that's a key level support for Bitcoin. We're up over the weekly on the RSI, and there's just really nothing adverse for Bitcoin right now, minus being overextended on the shorter term. All right, that should translate here to make sense in the sense that Filecoin's in good shape. So I hope you found benefit, of course, and you comment below, like and subscribe, all that wonderful stuff if you did find benefit. If you want to find greater benefit, become a community member, work with myself and some other amazing, awesome traders. Consider joining CryptoCache.tech as a website. We all learn and grow together, weekly roundtable discussions, and furthermore, we also have, of course, signals that I send out for every single trade that I take, so you learn how to structure your trades. We took some pretty awesome leverage positions recently. We hit, I think 5x, Bitcoin and Ethereum both at 40%. And it's been a really cool experience, and it's great to be able to share that with everyone. So check that out in your own time, and we'll look forward to seeing you next video. Hey, thanks again. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.